Yo, what's up, my people? We here at another episode of AA Talks, and today I'm blessed with having the presence of Money Mish.
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, of course. And another thing that's special about you being here today is, it's Women's Her Story Month. So so I wanted to, really dedicate this episode to, your musical career, and then also talk about, women in music, that have inspired you, or, women in music that I listen to, and just, kind of, today's a day about women in music. Okay. Essentially.
That's exciting.
Yeah, very, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys ladies got something to say too, right?
There's so many like female artists out today, and I feel like females are really dominating the music industry, and I'm just so excited about like what all the girls are doing and what's new to come out. So yeah,
what's going on, and yeah, so many. Right now there could just be a all women hip hop tour, like just Would it work though? Would it work?
Okay, that's the thing.
The logistics,
So it makes sense that it would be an all women's tour, but I hate saying this as a female. I just don't think that females could really work together.
Why not?
I don't. Because it's the attitude is just like, oh, there can only be one woman, and I'm the queen, and all you other bitches. Oh, I'm sorry, cursing, but like there can only be like one queen. And then there's always someone who has that attitude, like I'm the top, be here, right? And the rest of y'all like this.
So it's
and
like
that.
It's like a hierarchy, you would say.
Yeah, and it gets I feel like it gets really like complicated because I've been making music now since 2020, 2021. When I invite females to the studio all the time, and there's always some type of like issue.
Something goes left.
It's always so complicated. But when I hit up a male artist and I'm like, yo, I'm in the studio, I drop the address. It's so simple. Like we're not talking about outfits. We're not talking about, oh, my hair is not done, and they just really like show up. Right. So with the females, especially like, I hate talking about beef. I feel like, I mean, even though I'm a female, I'm just like, let the woman be the woman. But it's just like so many people have beef with each other right now. And how can we all really be together,
united under one front
at the same time?
Just,
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
That's cool. So now, Money Mish as an artist,
yes.
You said you started making music in 2020.
I'm a pandemic rapper.
Ooh. So let's get into that. Like, let people know your background and what got you into music actually, and where do you see yourself going as a musical artist?
All right, so
we got some tracks, by the way, too.
Yes, we do. I have a new song coming out called You Were Everything, which is a great song for us to talk about today. But all right, my origin story.
Yes.
My origin story is that so many different places, but the main one is that I had a thyroid issue, and you see the scar that I have right here? So I had to get surgery, and half of my thyroid had to be removed surgically. And the doctor pretty much was just like, well, if this surgery goes bad, you might lose your voice. And I'm like, it was like a psh kind of thing for me. And I'm like, oh no, I have so much I want to say. How am I going to communicate with people? Right. Well, like, what is going to be my outlet? And at that moment, I'm just like, you have to use your voice for something more, and you need to speak up. And my personal goal is that I want people to know that they're not alone in life. And that's just really based off of my other reason for starting music. I feel like I've been through like a lot of trauma. Right. Like I've been in the foster care system, slept in train stations before, and I know that there's a lot of people who have similar experiences. So I want to make like day-to-day, everyday music, life rap.
Some relatable.
Yeah, like something like you in the supermarket and this thing happened, or even how we had the earthquake.
Oh yeah,
it's just like, where were you at when this happened? And like, how did you feel? And then my third reason for starting is that I'm actually a published poet. So I did the poetry tour thing around the city, and then I'm like, oh, it's easy for me to just get into music.
Right, that's dope.
Yeah, thank you.
So now, like, when it comes to influences, right? Me personally, I've told you this maybe umpteenth times, and you know what I'm about to say. I would say you kind of remind me, you give me Khalees vibes,
I hate you so much right now.
You give me that type of, would you say she's somebody that you like influenced you, or is there some other artist that influenced you?
Well, when I really started, so I love Kelly's. I listen to her all the time. Follow her on Instagram. Her farming is like,
yo, she was recently just
top
in,
tier.
I think she was somewhere in Africa. I think it was Zimbabwe, one of them places, and she was just showing like people literally, you know, organic farming and just, you know,
yo, I didn't even know that I like loved farms until like Instagram. I'm like, oh, there's a farm. Old McDonald on the farm, whatever it could be. So I do love Kelly's, and I wouldn't say that it's one rapper like in particular. I wouldn't say I'm a person that said, oh, I'm looking up to this person. I want to be like this person. I never had that. And I hate that I didn't have that, like a idol of sorts. But for me, it's just like, I got something I need to say.
All right.
And I feel like I want to be heard. So I had to make sure I was being heard.
Right. And, you know, music, that's your way to be heard, you know, vocally. And, you know, when it comes to, you know, women in hip hop, for me personally, you know, I have a few that I'm like, yes, these are my, you know, top 3 or whatever.
Okay.
And I'll get into it now. So first and foremost is Lauryn Hill. Can I tell you why Lauryn Hill?
Why Lauryn Hill? Is it because she's natural? Is it because her voice is so nice and like sweet?
We have, I mean,
her
you hit
things.
it on the mark. You hit them, but
okay.
The other thing is, I feel like, you know, now, especially in, you know, women in hip hop, it's more about the image instead of, you know, what's being, you know, the lyrics, you know, because Lauryn Hill, you know, doo-wop and all these other songs, there's a message, you know, and it wasn't about her jumping on and, you know, shaking her behind and, you know, showing her assets or whatnot. No, it was like, I have something to say, you know what I'm saying? And it's dope. And I'm just gonna, you know, just speak about it, rap about it.
So that's something that I can really appreciate about her. So when I started doing music, like I started from, I want to say like the 70s. Like I listened to MC Lyte. I listened to like Queen Latifah. I listened to all of Lil' Kim's albums, Foxy Brown. Like I did the whole thing. And I do love at the very beginning where it's just like we're dressing baggy. We're saying what we want to say. And yeah, we're still around the guys, but like they respect us and we're here and we're putting our foot down with that. I feel like my biggest issue with coming into music right now is that I feel like I want to authentically be myself. And it kind of feels like I'm living a double life, right? So on one hand, it's just like, I just graduated. I have my master's degree. Right. But then I have some songs that are hypersexual and people really want to put me in this box. How do you have a degree, but you're talking about all these different things? So that's one of my issues. And it's like, sometimes I want to wear a suit or like my favorite clothing piece. Like I love turtlenecks. But when it comes to music and like even being on social media, it's just like, I go to the gym all the time. If I don't post something, if I post like a turtleneck, am I really gonna get that many likes? If I post like me in like a long skirt, am I really gonna get that many likes? Or even like we were talking about natural hair earlier. I think my hair is very cute today, but people will be telling me today, like, you need to get your hair done and you need to get your nails done. And it's a really weird space to be in, but going back to like Lauryn Hill as an artist that you like, I agree with you. I appreciate that she has this voice, this earthly voice, and that she can just say what it is, and she has this power where people are still putting their eyes on her and not actually like sexualizing her.
Right. And you see like with Lil' Kim, you know, she actually brought in the whole, you know, over sexualized, you know what I'm saying, and that type of thing and that image thing, but she could rap.
Right.
I mean, people say Biggie wrote, you know, some of her stuff back then, but I mean,
a lot of people are writers today.
Yeah, that's not. But I mean, in terms of her like rapping, like as an artist, like bars, you know, hip hop, the essentials, bars. I feel like she is like one of the greatest to me. You know? In terms of the, you know, the visuals and whatnot, yeah, that's good and all. But in terms of me rating her as an artist, I feel like she's one of the best.
I would actually agree with you, and I feel like she's another artist where like she had to go out there and she had to be the best, because at this time period it's mostly like men who are in this field. So it's something I learned early on working in entertainment. Like, if you're in a room, you have to be in a room for a reason, because if you don't have a good reason, like something to back you up, people are gonna just think that you're there to like
just occupy space
to do nasty things, specifically. So I feel like, and then just having her being able to be a head turner was like very important. It's just like, yeah, I'm a girl and I rap like this, but I also look like this. And these are the types of things that I'm gonna talk about, because even today, like my song First Date, I feel like females should be able to talk about like their sexuality.
The wow factor on First Date.
It's the wow factor.
When I first heard it,
it's the wow factor.
I was like, you know what I'm saying? What? Did I just hear that? But
yeah.
I mean, but still, you get the shock value though. You get that, you know.
But then the thing comes where it's like, okay, after the shock value, then what do you actually have? So for me, it's just like, yeah, I don't even like performing First Date anymore. But when I go out, people like request it. So now I'm in this part of like where I'm like, well, I need to like reclaim my music and not let people do with it or like visualize it how they want. And it's like, what am I actually doing with it in a story that I want to tell? So going back to what I was saying earlier about how like I feel like I want people to know they're not alone. I think it's okay for you to have sex. I think that you should enjoy yourself, but then you should also like be safe doing it. And if that's something you want to do, then do it.
Right. So if it floats your boat, then, you know,
yeah,
go ahead with it.
Yeah.
So, so I gave you Lauryn Hill. That was
that was your one.
That was my one.
Yeah.
Next, Eve.
Eve.
Yes, Eve.
I used to watch her show. I love Eve.
I don't know, Eve. She just has like, you know, she could rap too.
Yeah.
You know, she's not just a pretty face or whatever. She can also rap. And just looking at just what she's done with her career, not just music, but then also acting and, you know, into other endeavors. You know, me personally, I just like to see, you know, artists, musicians who just branch into different, you know, entities, and, you know, ventures and stuff like that. So, yes, Eve. And then for number 3, it's kind of like, for me, it's tough.
Oh, I used to wear her clothes when she had Fetish out. I used to wear Fetish.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I wore Fetish. Ooh, I'm aging myself. I did.
Oh, I mean, you know, this was this was the era. This was the time, you know.
Who's your third person?
My third person it's crazy. Third person is actually, I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it.
Don't be scared. On your own show. Who is it?
Cardi. And
Cardi.
I'll tell you why Cardi, because, you know, I feel like lyrically, you know, maybe not the best, but I just like the idea of, you know, her being from the Bronx. I'm a Bronxite too.
That part,
and I like the fact that, you know, she's become a brand, you know, essentially. She's become a brand, and she, you know, pretty much is her own boss.
She's literally on something different, like every week. Like,
and once again, no knock to her. Why I say I didn't want to say it, because, you know, I tend to like, it's more of the art of music that I'm trying to follow. You know, the aesthetics and everything, that's cool. The optics, that's cool. But it's more so what quality you have as an artist. And it's funny, I was talking with my girl the other day about this. I'm like, you know, she dropped her first album, you know, which I wasn't much of a fan of, you know, but she, you know, won a Grammy off of it. That's fine. And now, okay, where's the second? Year 1 passes, year 2 passes, year 3 passes.
I think today, it today or yesterday that makes 5 years since that album came out. What it looks like from her social media, because I follow her, is that like her interaction with her fans is a part of the reason why new music isn't coming out. And I get that, because it's like, I feel like you just go through these phases. Like you wanna please like your audience, but then you also like want to be like connected to it, and you want to like love it yourself. Right. And I feel like she thought it was cool, and then people got snippets, and then it's just like, it's not cool. And I can relate to that, actually.
But my thing is, like, I feel like letting it be that long in between projects. I mean, yes, even though she has little things she does to keep that momentum going, I mean, you gotta drop an album. If you want to be taken seriously as an artist, you gotta drop an album.
So in this day and age, I actually disagree. I don't think that you actually have to drop an album, because right now it's all about singles and really like the streams. You could become extremely popular from a single, and you don't have to release a full body of work. And that's just, I read a lot of articles.
Yeah.
So as a hip hop person, like I listen to J. Cole's album came out, I listened to it at 1 a.m. I don't know why I was up, but I just woke up. Let me put on J. Cole's whole album. Or like Glorilla's album. I'm listening to that at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like I do appreciate the bodies of work.
By the way, not to.
I love Glorilla. I like to do that dance beat. I love Glorilla. I was watching one of her interviews. Was it last week when she came out with the Cha Cha song? I personally love the Cha Cha song. I think it's nice and it's something like a different take on her and her personality. And personally with that song is like people always be like, oh, some artists, they always sound the same. They don't switch it up. She tried to switch it up and then people are just like bashing her for it. So I feel like she's taking risks.
But that's the thing. If you got to take these risks, and I feel like you said earlier, you don't want to be boxed in as an artist in one, just in one corner. You want to expand and try different things.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of artists now, they're scared to really branch out and try different try different things. I
agree, and it's scary because once you have a certain fan base, it's just like you kind of feel like, oh my God, these are like my little babies and I don't want to lose them. So like
they gotta follow you. They gotta, if they're true fans, I feel like no matter what you do, they'll.
Well, that goes kind of what y'all consume it. That's kind of what y'all was saying earlier. Where like a song came out yesterday, that song is kind of like old now, and I agree that's how it should be. But even with like First Date, right? Like First Date has been like completely wonderful to me. That's really like when I'm out at a club, it's Money Mish, you have to perform First Date. But a lot of my music isn't about like sex. A lot of my music is actually about like heartbreak and like trauma and like depression. But can I sit here? I don't personally feel like I can sit here and be like, yeah, I'm marketing all of this depression, because when people talk to me, they be like, oh, I love how courageous you are. I personally don't think that I'm courageous. I think that I'm playing with the cards that were dealt to me.
Right.
And I'm just doing what I gotta do, but not because I'm courageous. It's just I gotta eat today.
Right.
That's it for me.
I feel you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I feel like the best thing as an artist is when, your fan base is able to resonate with you.
Right.
They're able to resonate with you and feel like, man, like, I can really feel what she's saying. I can really, draw some parallels or whatnot.
Right.
So yeah, that's definitely dope to, connect with your fan base. Now, where do you see women in hip hop? Where do you see the industry going?
Where do I see the industry going?
Yes.
You mean with females specifically?
Specifically, remember?
I mean, well, Joe Budden said the other day that the female era is kind of over. My bad.
I feel like it's in full effect.
I think it's huge right now. I think that we're gonna be around and gonna be the main people here for definitely like the next 10 years. There's more females who are like coming up and coming out.
And this is my thing, not to cut you. I think I need in the female, industry, we need to see more of this, more of togetherness, because like you said earlier, it's all these different logistics and all these different things.
Teach me the ways. Literally teach me how to work with other females, and I'll try more to work with other. I'm the type of person where like I feel like I'm naturally supportive. Like I post on Instagram, yo, I'm gonna be in the studio today. Men return my text messages. Men DM me. The female artists that I know, whenever I meet a female artist, I follow them. I personally will go, oh, okay, let me check out your Spotify. Do you even have a Spotify? Or I'm also the person who's just like, you don't even know how to get verified on Spotify. Let me show you how I did it. Let me show you how to put your bio and all those different things. And sometimes it's like, well, why are you looking at me like that? Or why you said that kind of thing? And it's just like, maybe I'm looking at you because you're cute, but it don't mean that I got like an issue with you.
An issue or some animosity or something.
Yeah, and then I also think that it's like the educator inside of me, and just with my age, I feel like a lot of the artists I'm around, they're like a lot younger than me. So it's like, oh, let me show you how to do this thing that I did.
Right. Let me give you some experiences that I've had.
Exactly. And then even with that, a lot of the people that I've met in the industry, men will come to me and be like, yo, like I didn't know what. From going back to Umbrella Studios, I was working with Cass, and Cass was just like, oh, you got a pocket. I don't know what the hell pocket is. Cass, I just started. I'm just doing stuff, and it's kind of working for me, but I'm just doing stuff. And a lot of men will sit with me like, hey, this is what you did, and this is what I think that you should have done. So I have male mentors, not one woman that I've met, and I'm at so many events. Like I have somewhere to be every day pretty much. Not one woman has said, hey, let me mentor you, or, oh, you did this thing and maybe it could like look like this, or maybe it could change that kind of way. So
You got that.
It could start with me. I could be the big me.
And it's interesting you bring that up. Not to segue too much, but on my way here, I was on my phone, just scrolling on TikTok, and I saw a video where it said, men, like, let's say business or whatever, like we find out this is the problem, and we just, all right, solutions. Let's find a solution. Women are more to look at, okay, what are the other solutions? What are the other solutions that could be, that we could find, For me, honestly, I feel like that's kind of true. I don't know if you feel that way too as well.
As much as I want to say, oh yeah, I'm a feminist, women are so amazing. I agree with you. And I'm also a woman who feels like that women can really benefit from male leadership. I'm not the type of person that's going to be like, oh no, you're a guy, I don't need to listen to you. Men are more like straightforward to the point where women aren't. So that is the benefit that we can get. I've even, it's very common in the music industry for people to say that men are like the gatekeepers for women to like come into music. I also believe that. I got some stories. There's been some crazy stuff happening, but like, I believe that women should have men around that they can trust.
Right. And I feel like it's just about building each other up. Like I said, hopefully one day there could be an all, women's tour, all, hip hop related or whatever music genre. Hopefully that could happen one day. I don't know when, I don't know how.
Hopefully, just and it's just like I'm not the like the fangirl who's like too deep into people's like beefs and their personal problems, but just like even like Nicki Minaj and like Cardi B or like Glow just dropped yesterday, but she's already beefing with like JT. I'm planning to go to JT's concert and I'm gonna go to Glorilla's concert. And who else? Or even look, I worked backstage at Summer Jam this past summer. Even that was like chaotic. But the problem is not with the guys. The guys are literally, they're smoking, they're chilling.
Oh yeah, they're chilling, vibing.
Yeah, the guys are chilling. It's the girls. Like, I gotta change whose room because you don't want to be next to who?
Oh man.
Yeah, or like you didn't put it on your rider that you need like an extra cloth or a towel or something. Now I have to close this door because you beefing with this person on the other side. Like, it's too much.
It's all these extra.
And I'm really, like I was raised with a bunch of men. Like, I'm very chill. I don't really care what y'all got going on. I'm not trying to beef with nobody. I'm chilling.
Right. I feel you.
Yeah, that's it.
I guess that's just one of them things, just one of them things, So
Part
now, yeah. So now, the
Yes.
two tracks that, we blessed us with today.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about it, kind of give us some in-depth, on those two tracks and let people know where, when you're going to drop one of them, because one of them isn't released yet.
Yeah, one of them is out already.
Okay. And also let people know your social media and where they could, find your music, Spotify. Yes.
All right, so Fantasize is one of my most popular songs because it be like, sometimes I fantasize about what it'd be like to wake up right next to you. It's just about wanting to, a lot of times going back to like depression and like mental health, a lot of times I feel lonely, even like in a room full of people, or like I don't really like date that much. I'm really like a sit home on the couch with my cat kind of girl reading a book. So Fantasize is about wanting to actually like be in a relationship and have like that type of experience. It's actually my third most popular song on Spotify right now. Check that out.
Check that out.
My new song that's coming out on April 10th is called You Are Everything. This song is really about me trying to figure out like who I am as a person, and also going back to what I said earlier. On one hand, it's like right now I'm an educator. Like I've got my master's. I do special education. I read books, and I'm talking to kids about all these really important things. But then on the other hand, I'm outside at clubs shaking my thing, performing, and it's just really being two different people. And how can I just be one and feel whole with myself? Right. So that's You Were Everything, and then just talking about my life experiences and some of my trauma. So that one I want to say is more of the life rap where people will be able to relate to it.
Gotcha. Once again, Moni Mish, I appreciate you pulling up. Double A Talks. I wish you nothing but added success, in your music career, whatever, whatever endeavors you got on, you're part of the team, you're a Links member. So, once again, Links up.
Shout out to the Links.
Shout out the Links. Shout out Bronx Tale Studios. Shout out Hector on the ones and twos. Shout out Demi. Shout out Ism. And yes, so what's one word of advice before we sign off that you want to leave to female artists?